Forster. Welcome to I Have Today. This is our live weekly series where we inspire, educate, and empower you and talk about living the I Have Today way. I am an intentional living expert, blah, 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 blah. I'm a reinvention specialist, best-selling author, award-winning inventor, and I coach and consult clients through transitions in their life to reinvent their lives to live with more passion, more purpose, fully, intentionally in every area of their life, every day of their life. And today on our show, we have a great topic. It is called Divorce-Proof Your Life. The rate of divorce is somewhere between 50 and 75% for first marriages based on who you talk to, and then the odds go up from there with second marriages and third marriages. So my special guest today is Todd Creager. He is a marriage and sex therapist, and he's going to talk a lot about this and make an incredible offer to you about something that he's developed to help you divorce-proof your life. So one of the reasons why I wanted to have this conversation today and pick this topic tonight is because I know how prevalent it is and how many people have gone through divorces, including myself. And I was in a very toxic relationship for 2 decades, where I stayed in that relationship. And it was really debilitating for me emotionally. And it really was the reason what happened to me through that was the reason why I'm doing what I am doing today because of it. So what I know was true for me, and I know is true for so many of you out there, is you're living in an unfulfilled relationship and you don't know how to get out of it. You're afraid to get out of it. You have trouble communicating. You can't hear each other. You stop respecting each other. You put your needs on the back burner. There's a whole list of reasons why that's happening. And I can totally relate because that was me. And it was in June of 2011 where I couldn't take it anymore. And I kept my secret for so long. And the thing is, you can't live like that indefinitely. You will implode. Something will break. Something will erupt. And that's what happened to me in June of 2011, where I attempted to take my life. Thank God that didn't happen. Thank God I'm here today. I bless that moment all the time. What a gift it was, because it catapulted me out of that and allowed me to do what I needed to do, which was to get help and heal and fall in love with myself first and move on to be living this incredibly empowered life that I'm living now, doing what I'm doing, which is speaking and coaching and helping to motivate and empower others to love themselves too and to live to their highest, greatest potential and a true, full, authentic expression of themselves. So anyway, what I do every week is not only do we do this where we have a guest on, we're talking about this great topic about divorce-proofing your life. So first of all, if you're listening to this or you're watching this anywhere and you know anyone who could really use this information, text them right now or call them right now or go get them out of the other room and have them listen to this, because you're going to get so much value from this. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. The second thing I wanted to say is I always write my blog based on what we're talking about. So I'm going to include some of the great tips that we get from Todd today, but I wanted to tell you my 3 tips on how to divorce-proof your life based on my own experiences from other people, coaching clients, things I've read, and things I've discovered on my own. And I want to preface it with, first of all, not all relationships are meant to last. So I don't want to say that you need to stay, but if there's a way to save it and you want to save it, then you should do everything that you can to save that relationship. So one of the things that I talk about in my book is a process I developed called EEDs. And EED stands for Emotional Energy Diffuser. And that alleviates anxiety, worry, fear, doubt. But it also helps you communicate without getting emotional, getting yourself emotionally involved in it. And EED, the 3-step process is Breathe, think, praise. It's that simple. It's that easy. Breathing, stopping anything that's going on, you can alleviate any pressure just by stopping and taking a breath. Literally, just breathe in and breathe out, and you will immediately feel some level of relief. It will also stop you from reacting to what's going on. And I know for me personally, the reason why I developed this is because I would react. You know, I would walk into my home in a good mood, and my ex was not in a good mood, and he'd fire something at me, and I immediately would take it personally, and right away I was like in defensive mode. So learning to stop and take a breath would help alleviate that. The second thing is to think. And what I want you to think is, this has nothing to do with me. This has nothing to do with me, because it doesn't have anything to do with you. It's always what's going on with the other person. It's not what's going on with you. We all have our own perception. We all have our own eyes and lens. We all see the world the way we see it. No two people see the world the same way. You can have 10 people go to the same movie and talk about the movie afterwards, and you're going to get 10 different perceptions of the movie, things they saw, things they experienced. So no two people see things alike. So when you understand that and you think for a minute, this has nothing to do with me, that will help alleviate the situation. And then the last piece of it is praise. And praise is to offer to the other person, just through thought, they're doing the best they can from where they are. This is the best that they have today. And that's okay, because that is the best that they have. We don't know what's going on with them. And if they could be doing better in that moment, they would be. So that is a 3-step process that I developed. So that is one way for me that I would say, if you are working on trying to, it doesn't even matter if this could be a marriage, you know, with your spouse, or this applies to any relationships, your kids, your parents, your friends, your coworkers, everyone. So that was step number 1. The other thing is, and I've written a blog about this, is to stop having expectations of the way you want somebody else to act based on what you're doing for them. If you want to give or do something for somebody, do it from a place of selfishness, meaning you're doing it just because you want to do it. There's no ulterior motive attached to it, and no level of expectation of how that person is to respond to that. Because I will tell you, 99% of the time, you will be disappointed if they don't respond the way that you want them to respond. So when you're acting in a certain way, be sure to be doing it without any expectations on how the other person should behave, okay? And then the other thing I want to say is to be more playful and less serious. We all take things way too seriously, and it's supposed to be more fun. This journey is supposed to be more fun. Our relationships are supposed to be more fun. So try not to take things so seriously and act more playful. Okay, so those are my three tips for you today based on this topic. Now, our theme for today is divorce-proof your marriage, and then I have an intention for the show. And the intention is this: I have today to fall in love with my partner all over again. And you do. You have every day to do that. You have today. You're alive right now. This is your moment. Past is behind you. Tomorrow never comes. It's always now, 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 now. So you can choose in any moment to feel exactly how you want to feel. And you can choose to remember how it felt when you first met that person. Go back to that feeling, and you can reignite it anytime you want. So, all right, now it is my distinct pleasure to introduce to you and bring on our guest today, Todd Creager. So Todd, come on in. Come on into the studio.
Hello, hello.
Todd Kriegers here, and we're going to plug him in. All right.
Hello.
Cool. Hey.
Good to be here.
To see you. Nice to see you, my friend.
Yes.
So let me tell you a little bit about Todd. Todd Creager is a marriage and sex therapist who helps couples create loving and passionate long-term relationships and helps single people to find their soulmate. He is the author of The Long Hot Marriage, love that title, and the Amazon best-selling book, Love, Sex, and Karaoke, 52 Ways to Ignite Your Love Life. Love it. He's been a guest as a relationship expert on many radio and TV shows, including Fox Morning News, KCLA and KCAL in LA, KCAL, Playboy Radio, and was the featured therapist on a show called Unfaithful on the Oprah Winfrey Network. That's pretty cool.
It was cool.
Lastly, he's a professor at USC School of Social Work, helping graduate students learn the theory and practice of becoming professional therapists. That's so awesome, Todd. Well, thank you for being here. Congratulations.
Good to be here.
All right, you're a marriage and sex therapist and specialist.
That's what they call me.
This is so awesome. So I want to know a little bit about your story. I mean, tell our viewers how you got into this.
Sure.
How you got into this field.
Sure. Well, I'll tell you the interesting thing. I was pre-med, and I was all about being a doctor. And I spent 6 years in high school, college, even after college, getting ready for it. And then what happened was I didn't get in. And it was such a thrilling, happy day. And, and I was like, why am I happy?
Yeah.
So it was when I started, it was really actually a beginning where I started to think about, who am I?
Yes.
What do I really want? And I just drifted towards
you?
the field. I was 22.
Okay.
I was 22.
Okay.
And I went into this field. I just started taking classes in psychology. I didn't take one in college. Mm-hmm. Animal behavior. That's about as close as I got.
Okay.
And then I started taking psychology classes, and I loved it. I mean, like, organic chemistry was okay, but abnormal psychology was really amazing.
Yeah.
So anyway, I ended up getting my master's degree in social work. I didn't have psychology, so I didn't get a psychology degree. I ended up getting the master's degree in social work, which ended up being phenomenal.
Good.
Very, very broad degree.
Mm-hmm.
And shortly after that, I got into private practice with a person who is now a great friend of mine still.
Okay.
And I've been in private practice. And then I just started to attract couples, especially soon after I got married.
Yes.
I've been married 34 years in August.
Okay, 34 years. He's been married 34 years. That's impressive. Congratulations.
I'm actually one of the few marriage therapists that is on his first marriage. Not too many of us can say that.
Yeah. Well,
but anyway.
I think a lot of marriage therapists probably learned from their first marriage.
I'm learning from my first and hopefully only marriage, though. It's the most challenging thing there is, but it's very rewarding. And so I found I just had a lot of couples coming in. I declared myself a couple specialist, started learning more, started training. Then I ended up getting in a group practice, and the psychiatrist there suggested that I go to a program in human sexuality, and UCLA School of Medicine had one.
Cool.
So I went there as a USC person. That was the one thing I did at UCLA.
Yeah.
My whole family's Bruins, UCLA people. So
I did not know that.
We do this. So I ended up getting a certificated program through UCLA School of Medicine in sex therapy.
Okay.
Yeah, so I've just done that. I started training people in sex therapy, learning and then training, learning and then training.
All right, let's talk a little bit about that. What is the number one challenge that couples come to you with?
It's a great question. I was in gym and LA Fitness when I work out, and this guy came up to me and goes, so the number one reason they get divorced is money, right? So I'm thinking accountants, people like that, he's an accountant, would think that it's money.
Yes.
Maybe in the sex field, they think it's sex,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there are other reasons, but there's really one major reason.
Which is?
They're not connected. They disconnect.
They're not connected.
They disconnect.
Okay.
Now, all those issues could work into that. Money issues, you're not connected.
Yeah.
Sex, you're not connected.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Co-parenting, you're not connected.
Right.
Whatever the issues. But it's really that you're not connected.
Right.
Emotionally, you don't feel like the other person is tuned into you, and vice versa.
Yes.
And that really, in a nutshell, is what it's all about.
Okay.
That's what creates a series of disconnected fight or flight responses between two people.
Right.
And then, things can happen where they lose interest and things like that.
So, all right. So they're disconnected and they come to you. They're not connected. So give us a tip or two on what you do. Like how do you get back connected? Because I know I was there and there was no way I was getting back connected.
Right.
Just wasn't happening.
I heard everything you said is a profound, poignant story, and when people are in toxic relationships, they need to recognize it and either shift it out of a toxic relationship or get out.
Right.
And it takes two, but
I totally owned my part.
It takes two, but I wrote my blog for tomorrow that's coming out. I wrote it today. It's called "It Takes One to Make a Marriage." That's the name of the blog. And what I mean by that is each person has to take responsibility for making changes. So So the question is, how do people connect? I have had couples come in that haven't touched in 3 years.
Yes.
They haven't had a profound conversation in 5 years. That's not unusual.
Right.
In any decade.
I know.
I've had people in the 50s, 60s, and 70s come in, and they say, well, we don't want to break up the family because, the grandkids will be disappointed.
So this is the thing. All right, this is big because this is so much about what I do with I Have Today and about loving yourself enough to honor yourself. This is your life. Right. And everybody puts the needs of everybody else first instead of themselves.
I love what you said. I love a lot of what you said. But one of the things I really love what you said is about when you said selfish, I know exactly what you mean.
Yes.
When you do things because you want to bring that out of you, right, regardless of what the other person says. And that's what I mean by it takes one to make a marriage. I need to be a wonderful husband. I mean, look, here I am. I get married. And what happens with couples and why they disconnect is we have families that weren't exactly the best role models to show us how to connect through pain. Right. What we saw mostly is fight or flight. Oh, yeah. Either yelling, bickering, or withdrawing, or separating, or infidelity, or drinking. There's many ways people flight, and there's many ways people fight. Right. What we didn't see is a person, like I didn't see, and I love my parents, they were wonderful. My mom didn't say, I'm mad at you, to my dad, and my dad leans over in his chair and says, really, honey, tell me more about that. I didn't see that. Right, didn't see that. So that's what I do in my offices. I help people do that, and they can do it. Yeah, I totally agree. Yes, it's not only possible, it is essential. It's essential, and we can do it. Yeah. But nobody told us to do it. We tend to work at our jobs and stretch and be out of our comfort zone. We go to the gym and challenge our muscles, and we're out of our comfort zone. We go. That's what I did. I was filling my life with other things. I was filling it with alcohol and food and shopping and friends and work and everything else but what needed to be fed and taken care of. Right. And it wasn't that I didn't try. It's not that, and I'm certainly not pointing fingers. I totally know it takes two people. It does. But so if somebody's out there and they're struggling right now with trying to salvage this or decide, make that decision. Is this, I want to stay, I want to make this work. I want to make this work because I want to make this work. What would you say to that person to do first? Well, the first thing they can do is, assuming they're doing this on their own, it's not always easy to do on their own because the problem is they've been living, the reason people disconnect, let's start with that, because that helps us understand what they got to do. The reason we disconnect is we're trying to protect ourselves from something. Fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, fear of losing power to the other person. There's all kinds of reasons why we disconnect. So the first thing that this person should do is ask themselves, get curious about themselves. What am I afraid of? Right. What's my biggest fear? Is my fear of having my partner angry at me? Oh, that's a fear. Yeah. And we got to start to identify what our fears are. Yeah. Because we have now created a whole world around protecting ourselves from that fear. Mm-hmm. So that person might be a people pleaser, or that person might be burning themselves out trying to give, and never says, "Can you do me a favor?" Right. They don't do that. Yes. The person who is constantly, it's my way or the highway, might be so afraid of losing their power that they can't let go, they can't yield. So whatever the fear is, they got to ask, what is my fear? Mm-hmm. And then they need to systematically, step by step, do the opposite of their reflex. Yes. That's the hard part. Yeah. But they basically have to find some way to go, okay, if I'm afraid of displeasing you, then I need to displease you. Mm-hmm. Not that that's my intent, right, but where am I not being my true self? Right. Like you said, you have to love yourself first. That's what you learn to do. Right. Part of loving ourselves first is discovering our fears, right, and then discovering what we really want that we're afraid to go after, mm-hmm, and then practice asking that of our partner or sharing that with our partner. And like I said, hopefully the partner's on board with, okay, I'll grow too. But sometimes one person's more ready than the other. Yeah. And I say to that person, stay on the boat, you know,
right.
stay on the boat.
Stay on the boat.
Stay on the boat. Don't get lost in that jungle somewhere with your partner where you were before. Stay on the boat. Yeah. They'll catch up or not.
They will. Right.
But they have to face the fears and then connect and start to realize I am more than my suffering.
Right.
So that sometimes means we need someone like a coach, someone like a therapist, someone who is going to help them navigate those waters. But I think there's a lot of people who do on their own too. You know, they just have to really be aware.
I absolutely support getting help in every way. I mean, I'm a coach and a consultant for that reason. You do what you do for that reason. You know, that if we could do it ourselves, we would.
I didn't do it myself.
Yeah, and I sure didn't. No.
I mean, you know what you do is you get a team, and then you get some muscle, and then you learn how to connect. I mean, the most important thing I do with couples is teach them how to truly stay present to each other.
Yes.
Through heaven and hell, and the hell part's the hard part. So if my wife says to me, "I am so angry at you," what's my reflex? Yeah. My reflex is fight or flight. Or for me, it's usually oh yeah. Yeah. You think you're mad at me?
Yeah.
You know. So what we have to do instead? Talking to me.
Yeah.
So instead, it's about feeling those feelings, taking a breath or two or three, and really thinking about what do I really want? Because when I used to react that way, I have to tell you, my life never got better. Not once. Not once did I get defensive and immediately reduce my tension at her expense, and my life got better. Not once.
No.
So instead of listen,
the volume gets elevated, then you're screaming over each other, you're trying to make points, you're not even hearing each other because you're so ready to get your next point out. Right. It's just a shit show, man.
Yeah. One of the things that I do is there's a structure I have, and I call it playing catch. So if I throw the ball to you, I'm not going to catch my ball. If you just watch it drop or you knock it back in my direction, I'm not satisfied.
Okay.
Also, if I throw the ball at you 100 miles an hour, you're not going to catch it.
Right.
So in expressing ourselves, I need to like throwing the ball 100 miles an hour would be like saying, "You're such a jerk." Right. And that's how I start my conversation with you. Not a good idea.
Yeah.
But saying, communication 101, I'm really disappointed that once again, you didn't listen to me and you got defensive. And then the other person, that person's job is to put their catcher's mitt on. My job is to drop my agenda temporarily, put my agenda aside, and then it's all about you. And people can learn how to do that. We just never did.
Yeah.
We just do my immediate tension reduction. So it's like you have your creative tennis balls, I have my creative tennis balls. Yeah. And we just throw a lot of balls in the air.
Yeah.
So this is playing catch. It's one ball, and you would say, so you're really angry at me because you didn't. Now I'm thinking maybe, how about all the other times I did listen to you?
Right.
That's my agenda. Drop it.
Right.
So what you're saying is that you were mad because I didn't hear you. Yes. Tell me more.
Right.
And then you go through that process until the person goes,
mirroring in my book. Yeah. About that, how you can, if you just mirror back what the person is saying, first of all, you make sure that you hear it clearly, gives time for it to dissolve a little bit, the tension, and then you can respond in a much kinder way. Right. There's a much better way to do it.
What did you say? What was the three things? Something, think, and praise.
Breathe. Think.
Yes,
praise.
Breathe, think, praise. I mean, the bottom line is we've got to work with the body. It's an instrument. Totally. And when we're reactive, when we're just being fight or flighting, it just isn't conducive. We don't do that with our bosses. We don't do that at our work.
That's right. I know. We're nicer to perfect strangers than we are to the people that we love.
Right. But we understand it takes intent. Right. It takes intent, like you talk about intention. We have to have, a lot of people I know, they have intention when it comes to work. They have intention when it comes to going to the gym. And when at home, they think it's a haven. It's like, okay, and the problem is this, that when we first started a relationship, like when we fall in love, it takes no effort to fall in love.
Right.
It takes no effort to fall out of love. I love the intention that you said. The key is to fall in love by creating it.
Yes.
When we're out of the courtship stage, we actually have to do the work.
Yes, we do.
We don't have to do the work. We're hormonally primed to fall in love.
Yeah.
But when we are suddenly discovering the the flaws of the other person,
Right.
when they're triggering our own stuff from the past, which is a whole other thing that we could go into.
Yeah.
That's when we have to somehow stay intentional and present. And
yeah, you have to have tools to do it. And one of the things that I do is I'll say an affirmation like that. I have today to fall in love all over again. And then I'll go through the list in my mind of, 10 or 20 things and focus on the things that I like. And when you do that, it's the quirks, the annoying things tend to dissipate. You see them less and less.
Yes.
Nobody's perfect. You're not going to love everything about every single person. You're just not going to do it. You're going to have differences.
Even my wife feels that way about me. I don't get it. It's unbelievable.
You're perfect, Todd.
I'm the only one that thinks so.
Right.
That's not true. I don't think so.
No. So, all right. So, what can people who are interested in finding out more about exploring work with you do to explore this? If they, if you want to really save your marriage and not end up a statistic or alone or for whatever reason, and you've really tried, you've really exhausted other things. First of all, don't give up. I think if unless it's really bad, don't give up. And then, reach out for people like you.
Look, I think there are two reasons people divorce. One is, and it's the minority of the time, one is something I believe that there's a deeper self, a heart, a soul, whatever you want to call it. It's just some relationships are not destined to be, and
season, reason, lifetime.
Yeah, exactly. You got to
reason, season, lifetime.
Reason, season. I don't know, but they move
something
on.
like that. Yeah.
But the majority of people that get divorced, it might have been avoided if they learned how to manage their emotions and regulate. And actually, their job is to regulate the nervous system of their partner. And as one of the things I do, as a professor, is I teach neurobiology, and we talk about the cutting edge couples research shows that it's my job to regulate my wife's nervous system, and it's her job to regulate her nervous system too, and it's her job to regulate mine.
Yours.
And it's my job to regulate mine. But it's not my job just to make money and say, hey, I have some money for you, let's go on vacation. That's great, but it's my job to regulate. The thing that I wanted to say is we need to learn how to do that, and there are things out there. One of the things that I do, I have books. Did I show my book?
Yes. So Todd is the author, like I said, of 2 books. So your first book
is The Long Hot Marriage. This was my first. It's my baby.
Yeah.
It's been out for a decade. I can't believe it. However, it's coming out in China in the next few weeks.
Nice. He's international.
And they censored it. They censor the heck out of it. They're doing one more censor. So I think it's going to be just called The Long Marriage. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I have no idea what it's going to be.
He's messing with me.
No, but I don't know really. But anyway, it's coming out. My other book, Love, Sex, and Karaoke: 52 Ways to Ignite Your Love Life. So that's
you're leaving that here.
It's all yours.
It's my gifts.
And yes, both of them are your gifts.
Yes.
And so you could go to my website first of all, toddcreager.com. I'll spell it. It's TODDCREAGER.com. So www.toddcreager.com.
Cool.
And even on the front page, you can see those 2 books. And there's another program that I'm doing, like as we speak. It's coming out in June. Today's May 30th.
Yep. What is it called?
It's coming. It'll be around forever. But it's called DivorceProof Your Marriage. And so you could go to toddcreager.com/divorce-proof. And you go right to the page there that explains the program. It's 4 in-depth recordings, 4 modules. And the first module is introducing this topic and talks about attachment theory, which is actually very important to understand, because when we understand our attachment style, we understand why we're having issues and why we're disconnected. Then there's a module 2 where I talk about really how to shift to the divorce-proof marriage. And it's really how to think and speak and behave in new ways, to experiment.
Good.
Actually, which is one of my favorite words, experiment.
Yeah.
We experiment with new ways. And then the third module is on advanced communication skills. And the fourth is on creating a divorce-proof lifestyle. And so that is, it's over 4 hours of recording. And
so in 4 simple sessions, 4 simple webinars you can really transform your relationship.
Transform your
That's
relationship.
pretty cool.
It's powerful.
That is powerful. So,
And,
all right,
good.
so that's available at your site.
Yeah, right. And the price of that, by the way, is really, really reasonable. It's $297, but actually, if you catch it quick enough, it's $197.
Okay, all right. So you're gonna do like an early bird special.
So
all right, so go to Todd's site to find out more information about his books and this fantastic program, DivorceProof Your Life, your marriage.
Your marriage. And if you want to work with me
and you want to find out more about working
connected, you could always contact me.
Mm-hmm.
I work virtually, so if you're close to where I live, in Huntington Beach is where my office is, you can come in. But if you're in San Diego or LA or in England or Germany and you speak English, then you can we can do this virtually. So
that's cool. That's cool. All right. So what would you or what's your takeaway today for this? If you have to say one more thing, just you want to emphasize one thing for the audience, which is the biggest takeaway, one thing they can do right now today.
You have the power. Practice seeing yourself as an interpersonal center of influence. Think about what you could do to bring out the best in your partner. Mm-hmm. You could actually look at what you could do to bring out the best in the cashier at Ralph's or wherever you are. But definitely with your intimate partner, realize you have the power and that we oftentimes tend to underutilize it. So use it. Think about what you could do or say.
Okay, so I have today to have the power. I get to choose how I want to respond, how I want to live, how I want to react, all of those things. You get to decide that. That's good. I love that. I love that so much. Okay. All right. So I have something that I want to share with you that I'm super, super excited about. By the way, thank you so much for being here. Isn't he awesome? So fantastic. Thank you for coming to I Have Today TV and sharing this on our program. So something I've been working on, which I think dovetails with this nicely because yours is working on, keeping the marriage together and not getting divorced, and mine is really focused on the self-love. Mm-hmm. And so much of what happens with my clients and everyone that I talk to is they are frustrated, they are overwhelmed, they are stuck, they feel like there's no passion in their life, they don't know what their purpose is. They're just all of those negative emotions. Have all fears, worries, doubts, stuff from the past they can't get over. And I hear it over and over again. There's no passion in my life. I forgot how to have fun. Sure. I lost my sense of humor. Sure. I don't know what my purpose is. And so I've been working on this for several months, a 10-day passion and purpose program, 10 days to your passion and purpose with me. And included in it is this life invention journal. So I'm super excited. This is launching next week for me. So if you go to ihavetoday.com/free, you can get in now and pre-register because I'm doing it for free, but I'm only doing it free for a limited time. So get in there and register now so that when it goes live, you have access to it. And so with this, you will have clarity. You will know, you will understand. It's 10 days, 10 videos, 10 journal exercises. That's it. In 10 short days, imagine feeling that clarity and knowing what your purpose is and what your passions are and how to really live your life more empowered and more intentionally. I'm super, super, super excited about it. So again, it's the 10 days to your passion and purpose, and it's at ihavetoday.com/free. So go there and register. And if you know anybody who could use what Todd offers and what I offer, please share. Don't keep us a secret. Those are like 6 really powerful words. Don't keep me a secret.
Yeah, don't keep us a secret. And
by the way,
we both, I love your emails. I just have to say.
Oh, thank you.
And I think you love mine. Just go to my front page, sign up for my email. It's free also, and you get great tips.
Listen,
every week,
great
videos.
Resources are out there for you. And so this has been a really great show. I'm super excited that you are here. Sure. Maybe we'll have you on again. And I can't wait to hear the results of this program that you're offering and to read your books. And next week we will be live again. I have another special guest. I have an author. Her name is Carol Soloway, and her book is called Sex Happens. We got a sex marriage thing going. Yeah, it's really good. Yep. So this is Diane Forster. I want to say that it is my pleasure to come here every week and offer you this and bring you great content, great guests for you to live an empowered, inspired, passion-filled life. And remember that you only have today. Your life is right now. Please, you don't have a moment to waste. The success you will experience in your life and the joy and the happiness will come from your action. You have to take action. You got to get off the couch. You got to, make the movement, take the leap. So remember that. And we'll see you next time. For now, this is Diane Forster. Take care. Bye-bye.